of 72, in Albert Einstein's opinion, was a more significant finding than his theory of relativity. This rule was initially mentioned by Luca Pacioli, who is known as the father of accounting. He discusses the significance of this rule in his 1494 book, Summary of Arithmetic, Geometry, Proportions, and Proportionality. Everybody's desire is to be able to double their money in a short period of time. How often have you wished for a shooting star to have 6 figures in your bank account when you wake up the following day? I'm here to assure you that it is feasible. It's not just a fantasy. For today's video, I will be discussing the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 is used to help you with debt when defining financial goals, analyzing economic trends, planning for monetary purposes, evaluating investments, and more. It operates by estimating the time required for an investment to double while getting it at a fixed rate. And here's how to figure it out. Take 72 and divide it by the expected rate of return. For instance, if you divide 72 by 5, if you expect an investment receiving an interest rate of 5%, the result is 14.4. You will need to work for this many years to double your money, or your invested money needs to work this much. This rule has a lot of advantages. For instance, you can quickly and rapidly assess whether you are keeping up with the times. Additionally, you can ensure that your financial decisions are being made appropriately, because it indicates how many years it will take for the value of the initial sum to decrease by half rather than double. It can also be used to calculate inflation. Having stated that, there are certain drawbacks to applying this rule. For instance, it can only be used with assets that compute compound interest once a year. Due to its inability to calculate rates below and beyond 6 and 10%, this rule also has some accuracy issues. Nevertheless, resist the temptation to let these drawbacks push you away from this amazing Rule of 72. Contact a financial expert who can help you by adequately explaining this regulation and direct you in the right direction. For number 2, let's consider compound interest. The Rule of 72 only applies to compound interest, as was previously established. Understanding compound interest law and its potency is the key to unlocking the door to financial success. Let's talk about the compound interest after discussing the rule itself. The significant part about it is that your returns will increase as your money is invested more extended. In other words, the cycle continues as the interest on your initial deposits is added to your original investment. Now, you'll apply the Rule of 72 to determine how long it will take to double your present funds. Divide your interest rate, say 6% by 72. This is how long it will take you to double your money, 12 years. When it comes to compound interest, go for one with a high interest rate because the faster it falls, the higher the interest rate. Contact a financial counselor, request the best compound interest rate, and apply the Rule of 72 to see how quickly your bank account can increase. Number 3, investments. Your assets can be evaluated using the Rule of 72. We all wish to invest at some time in our lives, and you can utilize this guideline to gain valuable knowledge about how long it will take for your money to double. As a result, if you're thinking about investing, the Rule of 72 might help you estimate when you might get a 100% return on your investment. As long as you also consider compound interest, the Rule of 72 will work in your favor regardless of your investment. Let's examine the following examples to better comprehend this rule. Investment number 1, savings deposit at 1% yearly rate of return. Number 2, government bonds at a 5% annual rate of return. Number 3, mutual funds at 8%. And 4, stocks with a 12% yearly return. Using the Rule of 72, try calculating by yourself how long it will take for these investments to start paying off. Put your responses in the comments and describe any patterns you've noticed. Do me a huge favor and give this video a like if you're enjoying it thus far. Number 4, inflation rate. There may be inflation at the moment, according to the report. What does this signify though? The rate at which prices rise over a predetermined time is known as the inflation rate. The inflation rate affects things like home products and services, for instance. Simply put, it costs more to purchase the identical item that you did at the same time last year. We can estimate how long it will take to defeat inflation using the Rule of 72. According to the math, the price will triple in the following 24 years if inflation averages 3% yearly. However, 72 divided by 6.8 gets us 10.6 if the inflation rate remains at 6.8%. In other words, costs will skyrocket in just 10 years. Applying the rule allows you to budget ahead of time to stay ahead of the curve and avoid being slowed down by inflation. Number 5. Savings. There are many benefits to using this technique, one of which is the ability to predict when your savings will double. Where do you think of your first when it comes to keeping your savings? Keeping your savings at home is unsafe and simple to lose. Therefore, I really would not recommend it. Is it traded on the market? So, while there's a greater probability of your money increasing, there's also a greater risk of losing your money. You should create a savings account at your neighborhood bank. If you're fortunate, your savings account could earn 1% interest, and this is typically the easiest target to hit. Making a budget for savings is an excellent idea, as is setting a goal to save. You should, however, be aware of how long it will take to double your investment. Let's now examine a few applications of the rule. The time it will take for the investment to double is 72 divided by the rate of return. Let's imagine, for instance, you want to save $1,000 in the bank. Let's also assume that you will receive an annual interest rate of 1%. Thus, 72 divided by 1 is 72. So, if you invest $1,000 today, you can double it in 72 years. However, I'm confident you might not be alive after 72 years to receive that $1,000 profit. There are a lot of investment plans available that can ensure an annual return rate between 7 and 4%. Just conduct some proper research and meet with a financial expert. They'll be able to show you far better paths to go. Let's utilize the same scenario as before. You still have $1,000, but this time you decide to invest it somewhere else. Maybe an index that promises an annual interest rate of 5%. Therefore, 72 divided by 5, that would equal 14.5 years. You won't have to wait 72 years to double your investment. It'll happen within 15 years, regardless of how much you invested. It's also secure. 5% is only an illustration. Actual rates can even be higher depending on how good you are of an investor and how much you've done your research. The rule of 72 is an all-purpose mathematical equation you can apply to determine various things. This could entail calculating how long it will take for your funds to grow or how much money you need to earn to keep up with inflation. The one thing we continually learn is patience out of all the things you can apply this guideline to. So that you don't have to wait too long, begin your journey toward financial freedom today. And there you guys have it. I sincerely hope you take away anything from this and have all the required knowledge. We hope to see you in our upcoming video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye for now.